Hey, Easton Park, this is Nicole Moss. I'm your co-host of Easton Park TV and the co-founder of Moss Consulting HR Services. I'm here with our neighbor, Cliff Ford, who you all know. He mows everyone's yard. He's with Cliff's Lawn Mowing Services, and that is his business that he started. He's now full-time. And Cliff is excellent. We just talked about so many incredible things. You will listen to us talk about the start of his business, his background, which is very interesting. I didn't know. Very cool story. We also talked about what it takes to own and run a business and the dedication that goes along with that. And some stories about some cool findings in yards, like snakes and people forgetting that he was coming to mow the yard. So we're going to jump right in and you'll hear all about it. Cliff Ford, who lives in the neighborhood, who mows everybody's yards. What got you? You've been mowing yards forever. How long have you been doing this?
We moved to Easton Park in 2016, and then I started mowing for people in 2017.
And like, why?
It's just something I've always enjoyed doing.
Okay.
I was actually working for Parks and Recreation for the city of Austin.
Oh, cool.
And it just started out as something I was doing on the side. And
mowing the yards?
Mowing yards.
I didn't realize you worked for the parks.
Yeah, so mowing was just a side business.
Okay.
What a lot of people around here like to call a side hustle.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing for, 7 years.
Okay.
Before I turned it full time.
And your choice to turn it full time?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. It just started with doing some neighbors' yards.
Mm-hmm.
And my actual first customer, if you will, was actually Richard Powell.
Okay.
And he asked me how much I would charge, and I was kind of like, I don't know. I was just helping some neighbors, and I was just mowing.
Yeah.
And then it just blossomed from there. I had to do some research myself and see how much it costs to do some yards around the neighborhood, like depending on size and just different aspects of it. But yeah, and then it just kind of, it took off, and it took off very well.
Yeah, I'm so you're like such a unique Easton Park story because like you're like OG Bryant Park. You've been here forever. You and your wife.
Yes.
And you guys, y'all had your first baby while living in Easton Park, right?
No, we actually moved to Easton Park when he was 6 months old.
Okay, he was just a little guy.
He was just a little guy. We
Cute.
were living in an apartment, and we were in the prospects of building here.
Okay.
And we were supposed to be ready, I think, in August of 2016, which the process.
Yeah.
We actually moved in December 30th.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, so Milestone had to get it off their books.
Yeah. They're like,
So
we need to
we
close
moved in
this year.
Yeah, so
That's awesome. So like you started out like, I think a lot of the people that are new to Easton Park don't realize when they're like, God, there's not a lot out here. I'm like, there's a lot out here right now.
Yes.
Like there was nothing. And so when you were mowing yards, they're probably, I'm sure you could get a service to come out and mow your yard, but back then, there really was, we were in the boonies back then.
Yeah.
Like, so you were really probably the only one in the neighborhood doing it.
at that time, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was Bryant Park and there was Nob Hill. Mm-hmm. And when we moved here, neither parks were complete.
Right.
So there was a lot of construction going on constantly.
It was a wild time.
Yeah.
It was a really wild time. It's been really fun to watch the community grow.
It's been amazing.
You've been like such an integral part of it. Of like you probably get to know everyone. You're just doing their yards.
It's hard to look at it that way when you say an integral part, but yeah, I mean, when you've been here that long, like you said, we're the people call us the OGs.
Yeah, y'all are the OGs.
So it's interesting when we tell people that. It's like we did recently move to Discovery Park.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Our family has expanded, and then we got 2 kids, so we kind of outgrew our Bryant Park home, and we moved over to Discovery in 23.
Very cool. Very cool. We call that. We've talked to so many people in the neighborhood who like either started in like Bryant Park or Nob Hill or in like Union East or West, and then they move, and we've always called that the Easton Park Shuffle.
Yep.
It's so cool.
I didn't want to be a part of the Easton Park Shuffle, but it happened.
Your family grew. What are you going to do?
Yeah. I always told my wife, I said, if we're moving out of state. I'm not moving across the street. And then 2 years later, we moved across the street.
Here we are. Easton Park's special like that. It is a really cool community, and like, it's grown so fast.
It's been crazy to watch.
How many yards are you mowing in the neighborhood?
Last year, whether it was mowing for one person to help them out while they were gone on vacation or something, and I mowed for them 1-2 times, to anybody that I was doing on a regular schedule, It was 107 people.
Dang.
Yes.
And I'm sure that's going to grow this year.
I hope so.
Yeah. Is that that's the goal, is for you to grow?
That is the goal.
Okay.
It is my business, but I am also still the only employee.
Okay. There's only so much Cliff.
Yeah, so there was only so much of me to go around, and there were some times last year where I kind of had to put my foot down, I guess, and not to tell other people no, but it was mainly for my sake.
Yeah.
And just being like, hey, I've got to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was doing 10, 11, 12 yards a day coming towards the end of the summer. You're talking July, August, September when it's 110, 112.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a lot of breaks, lots of water. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy enough. It's just something I enjoy doing. I don't know why. It's like my zen, I guess.
I love that.
But yeah, it just, I'm glad I was able to do it into a business and take care of it, that aspect, because it was at the point in 2022 and early of 2023, I was waking up in the morning at like 6 in the morning, going to mow people's yards. And I know there's that, whole 8 o'clock, silence, you need to be quiet. But I was like, man, I got to do it.
Yeah.
And I was mowing in the morning. I was mowing in time when I got home from work.
Yeah.
I was mowing on the weekends. And I was just like, man, I'm not seeing my kids. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So I just sat down with my wife and I was like, hey, listen, we can expand this, and like I can do so much more.
Yeah.
And,
so what were you doing with with Parks and Recreation?
So a little bit of my background, if you don't mind me going.
Yeah, please.
Going back a little bit. I went to school in Arkansas.
Okay.
And actually, I got a master's degree in sports and recreational management.
Okay.
And I was able to work in both aspects of sports and recreation. So I actually worked for the Atlanta Braves Major League and minor league baseball teams.
No way.
Yes. And I did that for 4 years.
Okay.
And then that just kind of steamrolled of, I can't do this anymore.
Okay.
It's just, I love baseball. Baseball is my passion.
Okay.
It always has been. I love the history of the game, but then just working for a professional team. Now, home games were 8 a.m. to midnight. It was a long day. Day game, or I'm sorry, when they would travel, you do your typical 8 to 5, whatever. But it got to the point where it was just too much.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And I was like, we didn't have kids yet. And I was like, I don't want this to be a strain when we do have kids. So I made the decision. I was like, let's start over.
Yeah.
So my wife's job, we actually lived in Atlanta, like I said, because we were with the Braves,
okay,
the Atlanta Braves. Her job was able to transfer down here to the Austin, San Antonio area.
Okay.
And she was able to transfer to Austin. So I got on with the city of Austin, and I was doing sports recreationally for adults.
What does that mean?
We were putting together different leagues, like sports leagues, softball, kickball, flag football, volleyball, basketball. We were doing all kinds of different sports.
Is that like we were in Austin Sports and Social Clubs and things like that?
It's like that, yes, but through the city of Austin.
Through the city. Very cool.
Yes.
That sounds like fun.
It was, and it just got I got tired of being behind the desk.
Yeah.
Looking at a screen 8-9 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately coming home and like you got to deal with things. You're getting phone calls until 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. And I was like, I just got done.
Yeah.
I was finished,
Burnt out.
Burnout, definitely.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it. I was burnout.
Yeah. And so at that time you were also mowing yards.
Yes. I was doing it on the side, weekends, mornings, nights.
You're one of those.
Yes. I love to stay busy.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. So you were like, I guess towards the end, it was probably, we talk about this a lot with like entrepreneurs, and like when you go from your job, like that you're like an employee at, you have a boss and all of these things to like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, or you've been told you're not going to do this anymore,
right,
or, you kind of phase in and out or whatever, but like there's a point where you get to be your own boss. And what was, and then at the end though, there's like a level of like senioritis, I guess, where you're, even before you've like told them or like, it's coming or whatever, where you're just like, I'm so done with this.
Mm-hmm.
And to go through that while you're like showing up at people's yards at 6 a.m. and then going at 5:30 till whatever time, and on your weekends, like that's exhausting.
Yes.
Like I'm sure physically too, because you're doing physical work, but mentally, like that's got to be tough.
For me mentally, it was more mental.
Yeah.
I I still feel like I can handle the physical aspect of it.
Yeah.
But mentally, yes, it was definitely putting a strain. Like it was getting hard.
Yeah.
Like I was going to bed. I'm like, oh God, I get up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like you go to sleep and not literally, but it, you know, sometimes it felt like I was dreaming about mowing because I knew I had to get up early before I go to work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a lot.
But you know, when I pitched the idea to my wife, you know, she's more of a visual person, and I am as well. And I was like, okay, well, how is this going to work? And it was like, hey, I can get this many more yards. I can do it Monday through Friday. Quit working on weekends, strictly when the kids are in school. I can be home when they get home. And to me, that was very important. Yeah. With my son getting older, I wanted to be there when he gets home from school. Yeah. And being my own boss, I was able to do that.
Yeah, you know, in the beginning, I'm sure it was hard, but like once you get your schedule set and your clientele set, you know, I mean, even if you want to go have lunch with him or like grab him from school or whatever, like that freedom is priceless. Yep. That's awesome. And to have a spouse that is supportive is key.
That's 100% supportive. Yeah. I mean, that's the hard things. I mean, when you're quitting your job, you know, I mean, you're losing the benefits, you're losing your retirement, you're losing your insurance. I mean,
it's huge. Yeah. So. It's really, really huge. When Steve, because of Steve's solid job back when we started the business together and he worked full time, because of steady income and health insurance and all of those things, like we wouldn't have been able to bootstrap this business like we did without him doing that. And when he came on full time it's been almost 3 years, I think. No, this is our second full year. We're going into our third year of him. We're both full time in the business now. And it hurt. Like you lose the benefits, you lose, you know, then you go on Cobra, but that's expensive. And then just that, we have flexibility, but we got to grind. Like, so to have that spouse that's like the steady Eddie, at least in the first several years, even where you can like really create that steady income and, you know, just because living inside and eating food and feeding your children and like clothing them, it's just very important. Yeah. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. You've been in all of our yards, most of us who live in Easton Park. And if Cliff hasn't been in your yard, I highly recommend that you call him and we'll talk about how to get in touch with you in a little bit. But like, I'm sure you've seen some weird things. Like what's the weirdest, no names, but like what's one of the strangest or like weirdest encounters you've had in someone's backyard or front yard?
So this happened, I don't remember the exact year, but it was pre-COVID. Okay. It's weird how we can date. Yeah. We can date life now like that. Yeah. Pre-COVID, post-COVID. Yeah. This individual asked me to come, and she lived in the neighborhood, and she no longer lives there. Okay. So that's as much as I'm going to say about that. But
fair enough.
She asked me to come by, you know, one day after work, and I told her yes, I'll come by. I'll probably be there around 6:30, 6:45, and I knock on her door. I meet her. She explains to me what she would like done in her yard, you know. Okay. And I'm like, well, you know, I'll be by Saturday morning. So I come by Saturday morning. I did the front, got all the front finished. I'm in the back, and all of a sudden I hear, hey, hey. Oh, no. You know, like screaming at me. And like, I always had like one earbud in and no earbud in the other. That way I can... You know, I can listen to music, I can listen to whatever I want, but I can also hear people and just be aware of my surroundings. Yeah. And I look over and she's on her back patio. She's like, "What the F are you doing in my yard?" And I'm like,
"Oh no."
I kind of looked around. I was like, and I got nervous. I was like,
"Oh yeah."
I was like, I met with you 2 days ago and I told you I'd be here this morning. And she's like, "I don't know who that you are, get out of my yard." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am."
Oh, no. And it was the same lady? Uh-huh. Oh, no, she forgot?
Later we found out that she had some mental issues. Got it. But yes, that was the strangest and by far, honestly, the scariest. Yeah. Because, I mean,
she comes out, she's like...
Yeah, if somebody doesn't know that I'm in their yard, right? You know, it's... like they're going to come out and protect their property. Sure. You know, and I turned my mower off and boy, I was
out of there.
I loaded it up on the truck and I was gone. Yeah. And then next morning on Sunday, she texted me and she was like, "Hey, why didn't you come by and mow my yard?" I was like,
no.
So I looked at my wife and I was like, how do I respond to this? I don't know what to do.
You're like, see where half of your backyard is cut and
So,
the rest of it isn't?
I
Oh, poor thing.
yeah, and that was by far the strangest. And luckily, this has only happened one time that I showed up at the wrong house.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's only happened once. Like I usually check very well.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the exact number of the house, but I'll just say 8,200.
Yeah.
And I was one street short. I didn't go down far enough, and I turned and I started mowing, and this guy comes out and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Wait, you're not the person I met yesterday."
You look different.
So I explained to him, and he goes, "Yeah, you're on the wrong street." And I looked over at the sign. I was like, "Oh no."
Oh, dang. You're like, well,
so
you're
I
welcome.
apologized. And I said, "Well, you got a free weed eating and a edging of your driveway. I apologize." He goes, "No, don't worry about it." So,
that's cool.
Luckily, people in the neighborhood they're very, very nice.
Everyone here's so cool.
They are. It's a great community.
Does that guy use you now? Does he use your services?
No.
Dang it.
No, he does his own yard.
Okay.
He does his own yard. But yeah, he let me know that. And actually, I had like a 5-minute conversation with him after like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Yeah, you're like, "Sorry for the free weed eating and edging."
So, but that's only happened once.
I would say
knock on wood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe it'll happen again, but what a great way to meet your neighbors anyway.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen those videos on TikTok or the shorts or whatever, where it's the guys that will go and pick a house and they'll do it for an overgrown house?
Yes.
And, those are I love watching them. They're so satisfying. But
yes, they are.
You could it's like you could go do somebody's for free and be like,
you never know. I mean, it's a great way to drum up business.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So all of us who have been in Easton Park for a really long time, from the beginning, we remember, and I think it's still a thing, but I'm sure it's not as bad as it used to be, but the rattlesnakes.
Yes.
How do people call, if they find a rattlesnake in their backyard, can they call you?
No.
Okay. You're not that guy.
I have helped. I'm not going to say that I won't do it. I'm not going to say I haven't done it.
Yeah.
But I prefer not to.
Okay. Yeah.
I've been surprised a couple of times by mowing.
Yeah.
And they really do blend in with the grass. You know what I mean? Because you've got your green layer on top, but underneath the green is brown. And if they are underneath enough, you don't see them. And I actually did, I guess you could say, get attacked.
No way.
Yes. And I know I love Miss Carolina, and I don't think she will not.
Carolina.
She will not blame me for saying her name here, but it was at her house.
Oh, Miss Carolina.
So, yes.
They even put a snake fence in.
Yes, that's one of the reasons.
They came in because they found the snake.
So I was doing their yard. I was in the front yard, and I was on the side where there's not much. And there's bushes, and then she's got some plants, and then there's their fence. So I was kind of in a corner.
Okay.
And I get it when I pivot my mower and I turn around and I'm like, oh, it was right there and it was up. And I was like, oh, no. And it came at me, and I was able to pick my foot, because that's what it was coming at. It wasn't coming up at my body. It was coming down low.
Sure.
And I was able to get my foot up, and it got right on the tip of my shoe, with its teeth.
Oh my God.
And I'm not going to take my shoes off or anything, but let's pretend my hand is my foot. Mm-hmm. Within my shoe, it was just a natural reaction. My toes went,
oof.
I pulled my toes in.
Yeah.
In my shoe, and that's exactly where it went. So it was dangling on the tip of my shoe.
The snake was
his little, and so I'm sitting here kicking, and that thing finally went. It just went flying off.
Oh my God!
And I told Miss Carolina about it, and of course, she was very protective and came out to make sure I was okay. And I was like, "Oh no, I'm fine." I was sweating a little bit.
Yeah, it's probably scarier than the lady that didn't know you in her yard.
It's up there. Yeah. It's definitely up there.
Dang.
But yeah, that's why I don't really prefer to be around the snakes if I don't have to be.
Do you wear different shoes now, like steel toe boots?
Yes.
Or, yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about that for a second, because we don't have to talk about what happens to the snakes. We can all leave that mystery to where it is, because I know it's a pretty polarizing topic. But in your backyard, there could be rattlesnake. Even if we have a snake fence, we had a snake in our yard. It's scary. And then you're like, if there's one, there's probably more than one, babies. And so what can people do what's a safe way to look for snakes?
I mean, honestly, just be vigilant. Just know your surroundings.
Okay.
I mean, there's no real protective measure. I mean, I know people that have put up snake fences, and I've still seen snakes in their yard.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, it's like, I mean, anybody that, wants to get in your car at night, if they want in your car, they're going to get in your car.
Yeah.
Snakes are going to get where they want to be, and they'll come around. So just be vigilant, know your surroundings.
Yeah.
And just be aware.
Are they looking for water? Are they looking for they're just looking to get cozy?
They're just looking to get cozy.
Great.
They love the heat. They love being out. I mean,
and it's snake season now.
It's getting there, yes.
Yeah.
So they're going to be on the move.
Yeah. So everyone needs to watch out. Do you remember? I think it was like the first COVID all happened in like March, right, of 2020, and then April, like around Easter egg hunting time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when the HOA did the Easter egg hunt around the neighborhood?
Mm-mm.
And they were like, it was like on Facebook or whatever, and they're like, hey, the HOA, like they're all, everyone, stay in your neighborhood, stay 6 feet apart or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just stop it halfway through because there's so many rattlesnakes around the trees.
I don't remember
and like
that.
in the neighborhoods, it was like, it was just such a thing. They're like, stop hunting for eggs. There's rattlesnakes everywhere. But there's just so much construction then too. Like there's just so many moving parts to Easton Park, and they like the snakes. They were getting displaced from their homes.
Well, that's the way it is right now for any of the wild animals. I mean, the wild boars that we had.
That was wild.
2 years ago. I mean, I know yards that got torn up
by the boars.
By the wild hogs. Yes. I mean, the coyotes. The snakes. I mean, they're, we're taking over their land.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're going to be on the move. And so they need somewhere to go, and they find your backyard. I mean, they find your deck, your patio. They're going to go underneath if they can get underneath. So, I try to tell people, I said, don't leave things lying around, as a cover.
Yeah.
Because they will get underneath it. Like when we were in Bryant Park and we were getting ready to move to Discovery, we had taken some stuff off, and I had actually left some blankets out for a couple of days, and then I went and moved them, and there was a snake. So, I mean, it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
So just be aware of what you're doing. That way, that's one preventative way.
Yeah.
So just don't leave things laying around that they can get underneath.
So if you have stuff, like we have a bunch of stuff in our backyard right now, like if we were going to move that out, you should just like hit stuff with a stick first, or like...
Don't just grab it.
Okay.
Don't just reach down and grab. Reach and then like kind of...
Jostle it around,
maneuver it a little bit, wiggle it, and then just make sure there's nothing there.
It's scary. It's really scary. And, especially dogs, and like the whole anti-venom situation is like, it's a thing. It's very real. And for people that are new to Easton Park, like... Please know, they are here. They are like the rattlesnakes are here. There was a, I think it was on here in Nob Hill on the street. It got run over, but it was like a red and yellow snake, like a coral snake, I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the rhyme is. I always get it confused. Red and yellow.
Kill a fellow.
Yeah. Red and black.
I can't remember that.
Don't jump back or something. I don't know.
I don't know that one. I just know the red and yellow kill a fella.
Yeah, and you should
stay away from it.
Stay away from snakes in general.
Stay away.
Yeah, like even if they.
Yeah,
I don't know. We've over in the retention pond here in Nob Hill. I was walking one day and there was like a long snake, and like it didn't look like a rattlesnake, but it didn't have a rattle.
Yeah,
but like it was going towards the water, because it had rained and it was moving so fast.
They're quick.
And I was like, I don't know, in my brain, like snakes don't. But then I saw that little snake moving fast, and I was like, "Whoa, you are!"
I mean, the one that came at me, it was only about that big. It was a baby.
Oof.
But I mean, it rears up and it strikes quick.
Yeah.
So it's just like, luck, fate, whatever you call it. I was able to avoid it.
Yeah. And the other thing, and I think your wife was the one who went and got the Black Widow situation. Mm-hmm. Didn't she go clear him out of the bathroom?
Not her personally, but she made sure she got a hold of the HOA, and she said, because there was. A little girl, it's our daughter's age.
Yeah, a good friend of ours.
That got bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was horrible. Yeah. That was like
they were under the bench on the red benches at Bryant Park.
Yeah,
and in the bathrooms. Yeah.
Yeah. So Kaylee was the one that was like,
"Yep,
you guys." And you don't think about Black Widows here, but I mean, I grew up like I'm native South Central Texas. Like I've grown up here, and like you hear about Black Widows. We were more worried about brown recluse spiders.
Yes.
Growing up, like I never really worried, but that was terrifying.
Yeah, like black widows, brown recluses. I've been lucky as far as just coming across them. I haven't gotten bit. Mm-hmm. But it's, when I always try to not just keep my head down. Like when I'm doing stuff, I try to keep my eyes up. Every once in a while, look up.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm going around the fence line and the house line when I'm trimming around.
Yeah.
What the mower can't get to. And it's scary when you see the spiders.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're not gonna like jump out and attack you. Mm-hmm. You know, if you bother them, yes, then they're gonna bother you.
Yeah.
But for me, more than anything, it's the hornet's nests. That's what gets me.
Yeah.
I get stung probably 10 to 15 times a year because you know how the fences are, how they got those little nooks, mm-hmm. you know, and you can't see. Yep. It's not just a flat fence. You know, you got those corners, mm-hmm. and I can't see around them all the time. So when I get to them, I bother them with that weed whacker, and they come out, and like the worst one, I've gotten stung right here.
Oof.
And I've gotten stung in my ear. Ugh. And like back when I was in college, I did have my ears pierced, and like getting stung by the hornet was probably way worse than getting my ears pierced.
Oh, I bet.
You can feel the heat resonating off of you.
Yeah.
Like it hurts.
Yeah, when we first moved in the first year, I think it was like a wasp's nest or hornet's nest in the ground.
Yes,
and
ground hornets.
That was so scary because they would just like they would come out of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
They were aggressive.
Yes, they're very because you're attacking them.
Yeah,
that's how they feel.
I don't know how we got rid of them.
Yeah,
Steve, do you remember how we got rid of them? We had to pour something down that hole or cover it.
Yeah,
but it was like when you would get close, they'd be like, bzz. Yeah, it was awful.
So I go around now. Like I have hornet spray in my truck with me now.
Okay,
at all times. Yeah, because it gets bad. Like it hurts.
'Tis the season, right?
Yes,
like,
it is.
Now is the time.
Most definitely.
We've got some wasp's nests or hornet's nests that we need to knock off our house just out for you, so that they don't attack you when you come. So back to snakes. Can snakes climb trees? Mm-hmm. Great. Mm-hmm. Cool. So they can climb up anywhere.
I mean. Yeah, I mean it's like so. I mean, now if it's a big tree, they can't just slither up the top. But I mean, you know, it can wrap itself around and then just kind of curl itself up as it goes. Now,
so they could fall on you.
It could.
Great.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, the trees here, yes, because we don't have big giant trees yet with big giant trunks.
Yeah.
You know, so like I said, it's not just gonna slither right on up.
Yeah, but
they can wind themselves around, yes.
Cool. So everybody, keep an eye out when you're walking on the trails.
Yes, be aware on the trails, guys. 100%.
Okay, so let's learn more about you and your fam, if that's cool. Yeah. Kaylee's big. Wasn't she into board games? Didn't she do the board game club?
She is big into board games.
Okay.
Most definitely. She does that. I think they've moved it to Thursday night, but it was previously once a month on a Friday.
Oh, and now it's once a week?
Yeah, I don't know if it's once a week.
But Thursday?
Yeah, they do Thursdays.
What do you know? What's her favorite game?
Any board game?
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
She's right now. She's really big into Dungeons and Dragons. She loves that. Her and her father do that. I think every 2 weeks on Sundays. That's
a situation
with the group. Yeah.
Do you play?
No. I like games that have endings, and Dungeons and Dragons never ends.
Okay, so I had never played Dungeons and Dragons, but down the street, Martha Carr is an author, and she was doing this like really cool forum at her house with a bunch of other authors, and they all were like, we're going to play Dungeons and Dragons. And I was listening to the rules and the whole thing, and I was like, this doesn't sound like something I want to play, but I certainly want to watch. Mm-hmm. And at that time I was trying to read 100 books a year, and I was like, okay, listen, I just watched 7 authors play Dungeons and Dragons for 3 hours, and they made it up. I was like, I'm counting this as a book. Like, it was this definitely counts, because it was wild.
Yeah,
such imagination, and the dice is a whole thing.
Yes,
and like
I tried playing one time. My brother-in-law, who lives in Arkansas,
okay,
he's big into it as well. And we were visiting one year, and he asked me, he was like, Cliff, if you will play Dungeons and Dragons with us, I will sit down and watch a baseball game with you.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, let's give it a shot.
Bonding.
Man, I lasted 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, brother, I'm sorry, I love you, but I cannot do this.
You're like, you and me 30 minutes of a baseball game.
I told him, I said, you get a free pass. I'm good, man.
It's definitely a creative, people lean into it.
Yes.
I just couldn't connect, but it was really fun watching. Yeah. It was very, very cool. Do you have a favorite board game?
No, I mean, when I was growing up, I loved, just the basic kids games like Sorry and Monopoly and, different things like that. But honestly, as I got older, I don't play as many games.
Okay.
I really don't.
Fair.
Like when Kaylee and I first met, I would play, and when we first got married, I would play games and stuff like that, but I've just kind of gradually just pulled away from it. I'm not big into it anymore.
Okay. We got really into Catan, Settlers of Catan. Have you ever played that one?
Once.
Okay.
I call it Satan.
Okay, fair enough. It's intense. And then we recently found, I have a bunch of the games from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Do you remember Trouble?
Oh, yeah.
We have been playing Trouble and we are brutal towards each other. Very, very competitive. But we'll play for hours and just be like on a Friday or Saturday night, just be like, all right, we'll do best out of 5.
It's been fun teaching Cy, my son,
Battleship's fun.
Connect 4.
Yeah.
Like just some of the old games, I guess for nostalgia reasons for me, because I was like, I played this when I was a little boy when I was your age.
Yeah.
So it's fun teaching him that stuff.
Yeah, Battleship's a great game.
Yes, it is.
It's a really fun game.
I love that one.
So what's your favorite thing about Easton Park?
Oh man, the people, honestly. I mean, I that may sound cliche, but I mean that's the honest truth.
Yeah.
There's not only just getting to know the people, but I mean they're so supportive. I mean anybody. I mean you can honestly go onto our Facebook groups, and anybody that needs something, like, hey, I'm down and out, and my wife and we've got a stomach bug. Is there any way that somebody can just, bring us some food? Like, I mean, bam, 5 people will respond and say, hey, I'll bring you some soup. Hey, I'll bring you some Gatorade. Cool. Hey, I'll bring, whatever. Yeah. And then they'll have food, like instead of for tonight, they'll have food for 4 days.
Yeah, it's so freaking cool.
So, I mean, it's real quick. People's responses, are and it's just spectacular.
Yeah, people want to help.
Yeah,
it's
and
so cool.
when people need anything.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I need a dress hemmed. I mean, there's somebody in the neighborhood like, hey, I can do that for you.
Yeah. It is very cool. Like, you really don't need to leave. Like,
no.
Which is excellent. Like, we were driving, I don't remember where we went. Oh, we had a meeting. We had to go on site for work for something. And we were driving by somewhere and I was like, where did that? Because I don't ever leave. Like, right. I don't need to. Like, we work from home. Like, our friends are here, like, with the rumor of HEB, or I guess it's not a rumor anymore, like HEB is going in right across the street. Like, it's just excellent. I love it here. And all the little and I shouldn't say little, but all the micro businesses that are here that are like, we all support each other. It's stinking cool.
Yeah. I mean, just to date back here with the way the mowing business started for me.
Yeah.
Somebody goes on Facebook and says, hey, we just moved to the neighborhood. I'm looking for somebody to mow my yard. And it started off as like, hey, there's this service. Hey, there's this service. You get like 3 or 4 companies. And then there would be that one person like, oh, hey, get with Cliff. He lives in the neighborhood. Yeah. And then it literally has progressed from there. I don't advertise. Yeah. I don't have a website. And I am going to finally get business cards this year to, like, when people say, hey, do you have a business card? That way say, oh, yes, here you go. Yeah. But as of right now, I don't have business cards. Everything that I have done is by word of mouth. Yeah. That's awesome. I honestly, I go by my reputation. Like, I treat your yard like it's mine because honestly it is. I live in the neighborhood. Yeah. I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, he tortured our yard. He butchered it. Look at it. It looks awful.
Yeah, because you're going to see him at the school. You're going to see him at the union. Like,
you see everybody everywhere.
Yeah, it's we have some clients that are in the neighborhood, and it's just, we treat all of our clients the same. We try to do the best that we can, obviously, for all of our clients. But there's just something about working with your neighbors that you're like, I'm going to see you. Yeah. Like, and I don't want it to be awkward. Yeah. And there's a level of accountability, and like, it's just, it's neat. I think the most notable, other than you, really, because everybody knows you for doing the yards, and you've got your red truck. Everybody knows it's you. But Siniso has really been a incredible community connector. Yeah. What's your Siniso order?
I'm not a coffee guy.
You're not?
I'm not.
Okay. Tea?
Nope.
Dang. Go get your can of Liquid Death over there.
I've been over there a couple of times. Gone over there with Kaylee a couple of times. Just she goes and hangs out with a few ladies and stuff. But I don't need. I don't know. I guess I'm weird. I don't need coffee. I don't need something in the morning to get me going.
You're just going.
That's just me. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm
envious.
I've never been a coffee guy.
Interesting. Caffeine in general,
yes, yes, I do need caffeine.
Okay, fair enough.
Just not coffee.
Got you. Are you like a Diet Coke guy, or are you like
I like my Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper?
Yeah,
Steve's been on a Dr. Pepper kick these days.
We can go, throw whiskey in there every once in a while.
Yeah,
but,
why not?
We're not going to talk alcohol
Whiskey
right
and
now.
Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, it's like Coke and whiskey.
There's already so many flavors in Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
Add another one.
Now throw the whiskey in there. It makes it even better.
Yeah, how many flavors? It's like 56 flavors or something.
Oh, God.
You're making it like 57. Why not? That's awesome. Have you seen the Easton Park Gazette?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Tim Andrew, who lives in the neighborhood. If you haven't met him, you should.
I haven't met him, no.
He's excellent. He's very, very cool. He's a realtor. He's just a force. He and I have a book club together, and he does the Easton Park Gazette, which is behind you, sort of. I think that one is stuck there, but it's a newspaper. You should have gotten one. But he's just kind of highlighting Easton Park.
Yep.
It's going to be quarterly. And he sent a few out. It was going to be monthly, but there were some delivery logistical things with the U.S. mail, as there always will be.
Snail mail.
Yep. Yeah, but it's just very cool to have a newspaper, which is awesome. But Tim's great, and he might be a really good resource for you for people.
I'll reach out to him.
What's your dream yard project?
Oh, my gosh. Dream yard project, huh?
Like, in your yard, if time and money wasn't an issue, what would you do?
Oh, I would do my yard. I would probably, if it was my yard specifically, I would treat it like a Major League Baseball field.
Okay.
100%. I mean,
what does that mean?
So the way it gets mowed, it's a different type of mower.
Okay.
It's called a reel mower.
Okay.
And that's REEL. And it's just it's like a rotary. It's like just a rotation of blades.
Like those old school mowers
It's
you
like
like
an
the
old
push?
Yes, like that.
Okay.
But it's got the way it cuts. I mean, it cuts it so thin.
Okay.
I mean, like the blade itself, like if it doesn't slice a piece of paper, I mean, you can literally just like say this is your blade. You got a piece of paper and just whoosh, you can just slice the blade,
So it's
slice
like
the paper.
super sharp.
Super
Is
duper
that
sharp.
why they can make the crisscross?
So what makes the crisscross on a Major League Baseball field or even a football field? Well, I'll just say professional field because soccer fields do it too.
Yeah.
Is you are mowing it, but behind the blades is a roller.
Oh.
And it's laying like so. What you cut, and then the grass is being pushed down, laid down. So if it's being pushed down this way when you're going in that direction, it's being pushed down this way coming back.
Got it.
So it gives that illusion of dark and light.
Got it. Very
So
cool.
That's what it is. That's what makes the marks.
I love that. I was going to tell you. So my cousin they're laying like carpet grass. Is that called sod? They're laying like carpet grass.
Is it artificial turf? Like
No,
fake?
it's real. It's like the
Okay.
squares of carpet grass.
Yeah.
He just built a house, and so he's laying it out.
Okay.
And it's like, he just finished his sprinkler system, and his mom, my aunt, was sending me pictures yesterday, and it was so much grass, so much grass. And I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna talk to Cliff about this," because it's like it was so much, and like I mean, it's as far as you can see. It has to be like an acre of grass, and it's just he and his wife, and I think his brother-in-law is helping, and his like 5-year-old son. And I was like, I asked the sporty, I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he's like, his mom is who I was texting because she's there helping with the kids. And she's like, "You want to come to a grass laying party?" I was like, "No, that sounds horrible." Like,
No, that's not a fun job.
No. And he was like, I talked to him. It was like 11:30 the other night, and he was like, I was like, "Hey," he texted me. He's like, "Hey," and I was like, "Why are you up? You have 3 children." And he's an orthopedic surgeon, PA. So like it's 11. Why are you up? You have 3 kids, and I'm sure you have surgery in the morning. And he's like, "I gotta finish this freaking sprinkler system because the grass is coming on Friday. And it's got to be done." And he's like, "I think I used metal glue on my PVC pipe." And I was like, "That's probably fine, right?" And he's like, No, it's not. So he's like, you can see where anyway, it was just very cool. But I figured you would appreciate the amount of work.
Yes.
That
it is hard work. I mean, if you're doing your yard, redoing your yard, laying your own sod, it's difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get the square pegs of sod, or you can get the rolls where you can actually just lay it down and just roll it out.
He got the squares.
Oh yeah, see that's hard.
Yeah, and you could just see he and his wife and the kids were just out like.
Yeah, one at a time. It's
one
like
at
it's
a
like laying
time.
tile in your house.
And they're heavy.
They are.
Like, I mean, and after a while too. Like, so I was. I hope they finish. I think he wanted to get it done today.
Yeah.
I'll show you pictures after this, but it was
Cool.
just like, it was so much grass. And I was just like, oh, it's really ironic.
It's a lot more than you. I mean, just the little yards that we have here.
Yeah.
That takes a long time because that's what they do. They have the square sod, and they just come and they throw them down. Boom, boom, boom.
So crazy.
And then obviously, you know, to make your nooks, your turns, and everything. I mean, they
cut them.
They slice it and cut it, throw those pieces away.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
so much work.
It's not an easy job.
No, it's not. We looked at getting ours. We need to get ours honestly resodded, and like it's a whole thing. The cost to do it was so high, and we were like, those clovers look green all year round. It's like that's fine.
Yep.
Let's see. What is your favorite season of lawn care?
The summer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Well, when you first get started in the spring, you're doing everybody's okay. So the grass is coming out of dormancy.
Okay.
So a lot of people they mistake it's like, oh, my grass is dead. I'm like, no, it's not. It's in the winter when we finally get our freeze, whether it's December, January, or February. That's when your grass goes dormant. It stops growing. It looks dead. But it's not. It's just it's going through a hibernation, if you know, so to speak.
Yeah.
So coming back out of that, like what I'm going through right now, I have to wear a mask because when you are cutting that top layer of dormant grass, it turns to dust.
Yep.
And it's just flying everywhere. And then, like, you know how the winds have been blowing for the last week. I swear it's either nothing or it's 60 miles an hour.
Yep.
And that just blows all in your face because the wind's this way. Then when you're going away from it, it's just constant going back and forth.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously a lot of people right now too, the weeds are coming in hard. So it's a lot harder to cut weeds than it is grass.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people don't understand that part. But the summer, I know it's hot. You know, I'm sweating like crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm in my moment.
Yeah.
I'm in the zone, and I go and I can cut people's yards, and I'm done in 35, 40 minutes, and boom, I'm on to the next one. And it's just, I get in a flow.
I love that.
And, you know, it's, for the most part, people's yards are treated. They're taken care of, which hopefully one day I might be able to do that. But at the moment, with it still just being just me, that's something I try to stay away from because that takes up a lot of time in itself. That's a whole nother ball game.
Beast, yeah.
That's a whole nother ball game.
If you could have like a superpower to help with people's yards, what would it be?
You mean just a little snap of the fingers and
yeah,
you'd be done?
Like done.
I've seen these wonderful. I don't even know what they're called, but they're basically like robot mowers.
Okay.
Kind of like your Roomba in your house that goes around.
Is that a real thing?
It is a real thing. People,
dang.
Yeah.
That could be your first employee.
Yeah, right.
You could drop one off, do the neighbor's
So,
yard.
but the way that the way it is, like from my understanding, I haven't done 100% research on this, so I'm not exactly sure how it works. But you kind of program it to the yard you want to mow.
Oh,
you know, because
cool.
if I just go and throw it out, it would probably go over into the neighbor's yard and then over here and then back to the neighbor's and then back over here.
Okay.
So from my understanding, you have to program it.
Okay.
So I would have to program it, I guess, 100 different times.
Oh,
it's like, oh, hey, I'm at this yard. Yeah.
Dang, that puts you back behind a desk.
Right. Back where I started.
Which you didn't like.
So.
That is very cool. I'm sure that as technology moves, that there will be
there's something.
There's something.
I mean, I love technology, but sometimes I'm like, hey, don't take over my job.
Yeah, right.
But
even mowing yards.
At the same time, it would be cool. Like, oh, hey, like let's get the remote control and just I can just mow from my house, and I'm mowing your yard, 2 miles away from me.
That's a great idea. Or to keep you out of the house, like, or to keep you, doing what you love is like it could be mowing while you're like edging behind it, or like that could be cool.
It could be doing the mowing part while I'm doing the rest of it.
Yeah. I mean, all you'd have to do is program it once.
That'd be fantastic.
Well, look, you can get $50 off your first order. Steve's over here finding deals for you.
There you go.
Oh, that's not too bad. I would expect it to be significantly more expensive.
I would too.
I mean, that's not cheap, but like that's also not. I was thinking like $20,000.
I was thinking more than that.
Mowers, like even at like Home Depot or Lowe's, you're like, that's a $15,000 lawnmower.
Yeah.
Like, that's a situation.
I started out, I just had the electric Ryobi, and that's what I was just doing my yard with.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, this is great. And then I started mowing a couple other people's. Like I said, I started off with Richard.
Yeah.
And I had the electric. And then in 2017, I had I think 10 people I was mowing for. And I was like, I was still using the electric, and then 2018, boom, I had like 30 or to 40. I was like, I can't keep doing this because it's battery powered.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I got to get gas. So then I just started out with a little cheap $100 and whatever from Walmart.
Yeah. Cool.
And now I've advanced all the way up to almost a $2,000 mower.
Dang.
Professional. You know, I mean, it's one that's intended to be used
all
day, every day. You know, I mean, obviously it wears out. It's just like anything else. You gotta take care of it. Change the oil, change the blades, change the belts.
Can I tell you a hilarious
There's a lot of work that
story?
goes into it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is my favorite story to tell, and I haven't thought about it until you just said change the oil. So, okay, so when we were building this house, we were renting our other house. We needed a lawnmower, and so we went and bought one, and Steve mowed the lawn, and then didn't for a long time. I'm sure it can't just be us, but bought the lawnmower, then it sat outside, then he needed to mow the yard again, and he put the wrong oil in it, and like he's like, oh, it won't start, so like ruined it, right? Mm-hmm. And then went and got another one and did it again, and it was it was so funny. No, it wasn't. It was we were in the rent house. It was so funny, and then and he was like on the second one, he came in and he was like, I did it again. Like the second, yes, that's how I remember it. So it's fact. And then, the third one, we got an electric one, and I don't know where it is now. And now we have you, so it's perfect. Oh. We don't need a lawnmower anymore. Yeah, because we're really bad at keeping up with the maintenance of the lawnmower.
It's not easy. That was actually when I first started. That's why I had the electric, because I was like, I don't want to have to change the oil and the belts and the blade. Yeah. Like, I mean, you still got to change the blades, but I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
But then
it's a motor.
As you start building your business,
you know,
which was, I guess, unintentionally.
Yeah.
Wasn't meant to be a business in the beginning, but now I'm full head of steam here. But I was like, I don't have to use gas. I don't have to use oil. I don't have to change belts.
It's quiet.
Yes, very quiet. Yeah. And I remember the first yard that I came across with my electric mower, I was like, oh, I don't know how. So I go over to these people and I meet them, and I run into their backyard, and I was like, whoa, I'm talking grass this high. I'm 2.5 feet tall, and I'm like, oh boy. And I had my electric, and I'm the kind of person, I was like, I already told you I'm going to do it. I'm not going to back out.
Yeah. I'm
not going to say, oh, you need to get somebody else.
Yeah.
So I did the yard. Oof. And it took me about a day and a half.
Oof.
Because I honestly, because it was using so much battery power, and that's when I was like, okay, I've got to get a legit lawnmower.
Yeah.
And do this.
Well, and I'm sure if you're mowing 10 or 12 yards a day, like that's just wear and tear. I mean, you need like an industrial situation for that, not your like $150 lawnmower from Walmart that you use once a week or whatever, which is fine if that's what you're doing. Okay, so if people need help with their yard, are you taking on new clients? Mm-hmm. How do they find you?
Very easily findable on Facebook.
Okay.
In the Easton Park group. I can give them my phone number. I don't know if you want me to.
Yeah, give me your phone number if you're comfy.
So you can text me or call me at 479-387-8517. That is my cell. I know that's not local, but I mean, how many phones are local anymore?
No one's. Yeah.
I got my first cell phone. I was in college, and I've just never changed the number.
You've had the same number since college?
I have.
That's funny.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, I didn't see the point of changing the phone number. I mean,
everybody knows it.
It doesn't, when I call somebody, it doesn't show 479, it shows Cliff.
Yeah.
So they don't know, people don't know numbers anymore, really.
No.
So.
No. Yeah, so text Cliff, or find you on the Facebook page.
Yep.
Or find him around the neighborhood. You're out and about all the time.
I'm the guy in the red truck. So, I'm not the HOA guy. I've been mistaken for that a couple of times.
You're not turning people in?
I'm not turning people in.
Excellent. Excellent. You're actually helping people not get turned in.
I'm helping you not get turned in. Excellent. And not get that fine.
Yes. You've helped us several times. Awesome, Cliff. Thank you so much. This has been excellent.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Appreciate you guys having me.
Awesome. And listeners, thank you for joining us.